Show off. This one for my real good gal them. Yeah, 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 yeah. Glow up, glow up. Show off, show off.
Hi, Soul Family. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? It's Jaya Fire. Back with another one. And I know y'all missed me. It's been 3 weeks. I've been slacking, I know. Sorry, guys. But I've been going through some things. I ain't gonna even go cap to y'all. I've been going through some things. So, kind of like took a whole break from social media on the whole everything. But I'm back and I'm better. And speaking of going through some things, we're gonna talk about healing. And y'all know me, I've been on a healing journey for a minute, but I've been explaining for the longest, it's not a linear thing. So if I feel like, okay, I have to step back for a minute because I'm not feeling like myself, it's totally normal. That's part of the healing process. So we're gonna get into the details of that. Okay, so basically, to start off things, to continue to be on a healing journey and choosing that process it's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest decision. If it was so easy, a lot more people would be healing, right? But it's easier to really just put down your emotions and just act like nothing really is phasing you at the end of the day, instead of actually bringing it up and actually healing it, right? So in that process, it's steps to it. So number one, we all know the number one step, or whatever you want to call it, is denial. Of course, you're going to deny whatever happens. Like, say you break up with somebody, for instance, and you deny that you hurt. Oh, I'm a baddie, you know what I'm saying? I'm that nigga, so I ain't really gonna have the relationship with the heartbreak phase me. Like, you ain't really get me like that. I'ma still move on and go to the next, right? That's denial. Then you get into the second step of like, kind of like a acceptance, in a sense, like, okay, I get it. I accept the fact that we did break up. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? And then you get to like the third step where you actually process what happened. And you process your emotions. You process why you broke up in the first place. You process why you attracted the person, you know what I'm saying? And then you get into, I don't know the last step, honestly. I guess the last step is just moving on in general. But that's kind of the process of healing. Like, healing is like a circle. It's not. It's a circle. Alright? Because you go into your first thing where like you're in denial about it. Then you recognize. Then you process it. Then you release. And then something else happens, and okay, it's like you're in denial about it, then you process it, then, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of is like the steps and what happens in your healing journey. You heal one thing, then you move on from it, and then you realize, okay, something else triggered me, and I have to heal and process the steps. It's kind of like, that's how like numerology, if you study numerology and how that comes into play with certain things, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not really a 10, and you just go back to 0 and 1 and start again, right? So number 1 is like the new beginning, 2 is the alignment and partnership, and 3 is, I don't know, I'm still studying it, but I know once you get to 8, it's like an infinity sign, like you're looping and stuff. Then you get to 9, that's the ending of the cycle, and you get to 0, and that's the completion of the cycle, and then number 1, back to number 1 again. So yeah, it's like the more you heal, the more you go into the circle. So what continues and what helps you to keep on going into the circle is realizing it's just life, number 1. Number 2, having discipline, because it's tiring at times. Like, you know how many times I wanted to give up? Like, you know what? F it all. I'm gonna just stay where I want to stay at. Something happens, but it's like, me as a person, I'm always trying to grow, so I can't really have myself stuck in one place, even if I really wanted to, but I know I can't. It's just not me. But some people, they would just like say, okay, and just stay there, right? But you don't want to do that. You want to actually have discipline and just know that, okay, even if it is a cycle and it does seem like it's repeating and all type of stuff, at the end of the day, I'm still growing and doing better for myself and welcoming in new experiences while I heal the old ones, right? That's why you attract certain experiences. That's why you attract certain people during your healing journey. Most likely when you're healing, the people that you're meeting in your healing journey is going to trigger you. But that's a good thing that they're triggering you, because once you're triggered, it's like, okay, now I know that I have certain stuff to work on still, because why am I triggered? You know what I'm saying? And then you work on that until you're not triggered anymore by that certain thing. And then it's on to the next cycle, the next thing you have to heal, and then it's another, you know what I'm saying? So those angel numbers that you're seeing, where it's like 111 or 222 or whatever, that's just the cycle that you're at. Like, it's reminding you that you are with your highest self right now, your highest timeline right now. So if you see 555, that means that you are going through some changes right now in your healing journey, in your life. And you see 666, okay, now it's coming into balance, because the change, and after the change is balance, obviously. Then the 777 is, okay, I have good luck by my side, and da-da-da. And then this 8 is like, okay, now I have to, 8 represents abundance and infinity. So, you know, yeah, right? And that's what is kind of going into a cycle. It's kind of like the testing area to see if you really gonna fumble or not. And then it's 9, where you're completing that cycle, right? And then you get 10 or 0. You're done. Then you can move on to the new beginning, 111. I hope that makes sense. But that's how I interpret the angel numbers. So if I see that, then I know what phase I'm at right now. And yeah, lately I done completed a cycle, so I've been seeing 000, and now I was seeing 111 after the 000, obviously, because what comes after is 01, right? And now I'm at the phase of 222, so it's like partnerships and being in alignment again. And then 333, 444, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm still studying it, so if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, you could study it yourself, or, you know, you could wait until I make a new video after I've done the research. Totally up to you, but yeah. And I do feel the 222 energy right now with the alignment and the partnerships, because, you know, I just been, in my personal life, I just been going through some things, you know. Yeah, that's the one of the things of the healing, and how healing ties into the numerology. And also healing also ties into your zodiac sign. Some people don't want to hear that. Some people actually don't want to believe it. Whatever is your choice. But like I said, if you do research on these things and don't go based off what social media is saying, and you actually look behind the science of these things, then you kind of put it into your life, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense why I do this, why I do that. So first off, I just want to say you're not just one sign. Like, obviously, I was born in December at a certain time, so I have dominant Capricorn, but I also have Libra, I also have Sagittarius, I also have Virgo, I also have Scorpio, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're not just made up of one sign. Whatever you're going through, like, say if it's something that has to do with your emotions. Your emotions is tied into your moon sign. Correct me if I'm wrong. My moon sign is Sagittarius, so when I get certain emotions and stuff like that, I tap into my Sagittarius side, right? Your ascendant sign is how your personality comes off, which is Libra. I'm a Libra ascendant, so I have Libra traits, and if you see me, you would automatically think, okay, maybe she's a Libra. She got dominant Libra, because that's how she, you know what I'm saying? And then I have Capricorn, which is Sun, Capricorn Sun, yeah, which is obviously the monthly stuff that I was born. So depending on how the stars were aligned up when you were born is how you navigate through your healing journey. I've done it like a little bit, like looking into my chart and see what I have to work on, and okay, this is why I act like I do, because the Sagittarius has dominant this, and if I want to heal this, then I have to look into the Sagittarius sign and see the strengths and weaknesses of the Sagittarius, and then I'll know, right? Yeah. That's why it's important to do your research, because it depends. Like, it's different ways to heal. If you're into the numerology and astrology, then that's how you're going to heal. If you're into religious ways and you believe in certain religions, then that's how you're going to heal. If you do believe in spiritual stuff and spirits and ancestors, then that's how you're going to heal. If you believe in just science and that's how you're going to heal. But it's whatever you believe in. It's whatever steps you want to take. It's whatever feels right to you. Just do it. As long as you are changing and healing yourself to become better, cool. Also, another thing too is you might start off healing your inner child, for instance, right? Excuse me. And you get triggered by whatever. It triggers your inner child. And then say you feel like, okay, I moved on from my inner child. Now it's time to heal my inner teen, right? Then something happens and it triggers your inner teen. But then something else happens and it triggers your inner child, and now you have to go back to your inner child. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't heal my inner child. I didn't do enough. I didn't do this right. No. It's just maybe sometimes you just put your emotions deep down. Something that you were really not trying to face came up again, and now you have to heal it, and that's just part of your, you know what I'm saying? But it's all just a circle. It's all just a cycle, right? It's not just linear, because I've been on my healing journey for a minute, right? And I was just crying the other day because I felt lonely, right? So it's like, it's no, oh yeah, I think I'm healing, I ain't gonna really cry no more, like da-da-da-da. No, healing just, to me, healing makes life easier in a sense, because once you heal more and more, you get less triggered by certain events, and you can go on into life, and I don't know, like something could happen right now and the old you would just be so triggered, and you would turn into these toxic habits and bring toxic people into your life and do all type of stuff. But once you start healing, you don't let it trigger you. You're just like, okay, this is part of life, I'm gonna just accept it, and you won't go back to your toxic traits. You won't attract toxic people. You would just continue to heal. And even if it does trigger you, you don't let it trigger you into a depressive state, or you don't let it trigger you for long, right? So it's like healing just helps you flow with life, because life is going to do what it wants at the end of the day, but healing helps you flow with the energy instead of instead of resisting it, you're going to flow with it. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, dude, it's a lot. But once you practice mindfulness, and mindfulness is just practicing to be self-aware of your emotions so you could become emotionally stable, right? Become more logic in a sense, but also know when to use your heart. So just being mindful of where you are in the present moment. And yeah, but the number one thing is really just discipline, because it's a lot. You're gonna want to give up so many times. I tell you, I wanted to give up so many times, but the discipline is what got me so far in the first place. Discipline. Even if you don't have the motivation one day, discipline. And I'm still learning that. I'm still learning patience. I'm still learning a whole bunch of stuff, right? But like I said, healing, it's a cycle. It's not linear. It's gonna be, it might feel like you're all over the place some days. It might feel like, oh yeah, I feel so good this day, this week. And the next week you're just like, because you probably got triggered by something, right? When you're healing, a lot of things are going to trigger you. Because that's the point. If you don't get triggered, then it's never going to be healed, right? So if you are on a healing journey and you feel like, damn, why am I getting triggered so much? Why am I crying so much? Why am I getting so emotional? That's a good thing. When you're healing, all of that is supposed to come up. All of it's supposed to come up so you could heal it and purge it, put a band-aid on it, whatever you want to do with it, but just make sure it's healed. And healing does not mean, okay, I'm gonna be perfect 24/7. I don't care how many times you hear me or see me talk about healing and all type of stuff. I don't care. I'm never going to be perfect at the end of the day. So if you see me do some things and be like, wait, I thought she was on her healing journey. So healing does not mean, okay, I'm healing to be perfect. Healing just means I'm healing a wound. That's it. There was nothing wrong with me in the first place. I'm just healing a wound, right? It's like a cut. You know, you have to put the alcohol on it, put a band-aid on it, put some Vaseline on it, then boom, you're good to go and you can move on. That scar might always be there, but it's healed, right? There was, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's another misconception. Just because I'm healed does not mean I am perfect. Does not mean I won't whoop your ass. Does not mean I won't cuss you out. Does not mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things that you still have to heal. Like for me, one of the things I had to heal was learn is setting up boundaries. That might not be the case for the other person. The next person next to you might have already been good with setting boundaries, but the thing that they need to heal is their anger issues. You know what I'm saying? So healing looks different for everybody because everybody's life is different, but that does not mean that you're healing to be perfect. Healing means, okay, I recognize, okay, I fucked up one day, but I'm healed enough to know that I'm not going to take it too seriously because I'm not perfect at the end of the day. I'm not supposed to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to be right all the time. Like, I'm just healing because I just want my life to go more smooth. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So, I hope that makes sense. And just flow with life, dude, because if you don't flow with life and you let life kick your ass, then you're just gonna be living a very complicated, bland, stressful, not youthful. You're just gonna be like a dead soul in a sense, but you don't want that because even though it might seem hard at the moment, life has so much to offer, but you can't see that unless you heal. Right? Yeah. So that's what I've been going through because I've been going through a cycle and it lasted like 3 weeks. And there's no timeline to it either. Some things, depending how hard you push it down, it might take a little longer to heal. Sometimes I be going through a cycle and it only takes like 2 days to heal and whatever, or a week. But since I have pushed this recent one so far down up my ass, it took 3 weeks to really but I'm here and I'm better. So, yeah. See ya on the next video. And I can't make any promises this time of how many breaks I'm gonna take, but at least I'm taking a mental break on the first place, and I suggest everybody does that, especially from social media. But we gonna get into that in the next one. Yeah.